She's at home.
Is at home.
There you go, Stephen.
There you go. There you go.
With I internet.
My internet okay today.
Yeah, no, I hear you clearly.
They show you not coming by again.
I hope it's
Tomorrow
okay.
holiday.
I think yesterday
Tomorrow
too.
holiday, say your internet good.
My man, so you know,
No, man. I think what the
my man, so for my own
Oh, but the showing star is Stephen going to introduce the show. You want to trending issue question?
I want to something for my not trending issue.
You play welcome Stevie, yeah. Everybody,
and
you see, welcome to Stevie.
tonight.
Welcome to Stevie. Your text. Welcome to Stevie.
All right, so let me welcome few persons to the show before your Patrick. Then you will appreciate the radio stations. Then Stephen Johnson will start the show, and Dwalo and the people are sending people to your place today.
You don't talk plenty for the internet start missing.
Oh, the internet is shaking there, huh? I got too much for internet. It was
Okay, so welcome to everyone. Why made me happy? So baby, that Amos 12. Major bring plenty of gas in town, the gas in put out then fair the hair, but they will be okay. CDC men and first too, all of them.
So nothing good will happen in Liberia, eh?
Yeah, exactly. My man, those people they are allergic to good news. Soon they hear good news, they can get very skin.
I think it's crazy, but it's coming, you know.
The man said only legislature can pass holiday. Can you imagine?
They know the Constitution.
Yeah.
My point is,
people used to wink. When Lone Star used to wink in the country, Samuel don't declare the next day holiday, they are to pass it.
Anyway, what about the national census? What about the national census? When we want to go do our census, the president, Joe, he declared one day, holiday. Nobody will go to work to do our census. Legislature pass it.
I got to switch. Let me switch my internet to the other one.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be called. Let me say welcome to few of our valued listeners and followers. Tonight, the first student in class at sharp 8:00 p.m. 8 o'clock on the dot. There are about 2 or how many of them? Venetius Molba, welcome to class. Sharp 8 on the dial. Richard Shani Stone Gay, the man was on time to 8 o'clock on the dot. William P. Glossier. My man, if I'm pronouncing it, go sorry, but the
somebody say which year you going? I will tell you which year we're going.
At 1:08, Alexander Cody, welcome. You were in class. Martha Doki, Hashim Fambule, Gate Harris Gate. They particular men, they Gate Harris Gate. They men got crew background. The group can get they let double name. 2 by chair, 2 by. Present and seated, Samuel B. McGill, Martineke Dollar, very regular. Kolu Blama, William T-shirt. They got me. Teuchert. Now I'll call it as T-shirt. Other people can call it T-shirt, whatever. Dwana S. Dwana, very, very committed guy. Trokon Moses Kube, welcome. Lovely Mood Flowers. Very regular. Keseli Kobwe Kezo. And Keseli Kobwe Kezo. That Patrick then people then there. Then we have Clarence Benson, and that's it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I remember my man talking today. He coming long time.
Share the show, guys. Share the show.
Yeah, boys and girls. Prophet Kid, I'm a friend. I want to let some of you and I get plenty of friends from across the aisle. I get friends.
Okay. No problem.
No, but
You
know the first time we
let me tell you one joke before we start the show, yeah?
Or 99, right?
Hello, Senator, hello.
Senator.
So let me tell you one joke before we start the class. So when they jail Prophet Key in the morning, I call. Other people call. Why they jail the man? They say the man.
Money.
I know they may forge neck ID card or neck voter registration card, all kind of things. I went to the police station. They brought Prophet Key. Then the policemen there fighting to take picture with the man.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Then say, I said, oh, Prophet Key, my man, none of all knew you are inside here. The man say, I talk here. Nobody know I was here. Yeah. So, when the man was there in the pick up going, somebody call. He said, oh, Prophet Key, they jail you. He said, yeah, oh, my man. And I get Friday people then they put Jamie one night too.
One thing I love about Prophet Key, he got a sense of humor, you know. The man know. Little man, y'all share the show. Leslie Thomas, welcome to the show. Nathaniel Pops, Samuel M. Kamar, Joseph Louis Jalado, Mr. Do, welcome to the show. William Touchant, how you doing? Leslie Thomas, I think I said him already. Over here, I see St. James. Yeah, everybody, man, y'all come here.
William, we can decide to say William T-shirt. We can decide to say William T-shirt.
Gina Davis, Flomo Suba, Joseph Yima, Philip Bala, Mr. Bala, Ryan Kamara, Mr. Kamara, how you doing?
Gina Davis. When we're doing our quiz session on Friday, she the one can be giving all our funny question to Fatima. Now
me, I get one question and let you ask. Who is the Minister of Gender? That question there for people to answer, it can be who is the Minister of Gender?
I got no idea. I wish it was Fatima.
You know, Prophet Key, talking about Prophet Key. Prophet Key caused one of our men, man. I would not call the president. So, you know, Facebook has a way of when you're watching the live, your name can pop up.
Correct.
So, Prophet Key was in rhythm that day doing a show. One of our men went and click. The man around the show as I speak. Yeah. The man went and click. The man who near Pierre, he pressing watching. Prophet Key say, oh, they may have sent it for 9 p.m. Your mom.
Oh man, Prophet Key,
What's up?
Prophet Key, welcome this to Nambe.
Okay, yeah. Oh, great. Okay.
You can
How you
remember
doing?
us? I see the live video. It's not easy to the paper house. You can remember that?
No.
My man, my anniversary that papa will not come there, not going there. That's what I was showing. The 50th anniversary was there. When you reach 60, will be there. Joseph Baga do well.
Shut up. Mo.
53 years, one.
You see, you didn't read the man lovely.
Yeah.
You read it.
Always talk about this thing with one more. They move, man.
You read the paper lovely letter today to KYB. He say yours forever, Joseph.
Look at you.
He said yours. He said your love forever. Then he said Joseph. I said correct.
Guys, Stevie, before we start, I want to play this song in Stevie. Your son, they were, man. They're independent on now.
Today's colloquial day. Huh? Repeat after me, okay? Listen. Today is colloquial day.
Today is colloquial day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say hello, my Liberian people.
Hello, my Liberian people.
Happy July 26th. Happy July 26th.
Happy help.
Happy
July
26th.
27th.
My 26th on your my 26th
27th
on your
Anaru.
Listen. My 26th
27th
26 on your
Anyawu.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's alright.
He tried.
Like, oh, go now on your. Like, oh, go now on your.
On your one.
My other white man dog.
Patrick, look at the other guy. You watch the other guy.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday.
They made
And
Jolly
right
26
now,
bullet.
you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
But what they meant doing among the people that are?
Well, the minute he can start remember you get low. Look, you have to go. My man, lead our team.
Liberia trending, man. Liberia trending.
I understand
Liberia trending.
One Ghanaian guy carried me to a Liberian restaurant in Accra, and the guy actually told me, in fact, it was a taxi driver. Yeah. He told me, he said he can always go there to eat either potato grains or cassava leaf. He said the Ghanaians love it, the Liberian way.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, that do small comparison here.
Yeah.
This man right here, I can be sure. This man is George Weah's last foreign minister.
Not your foreign minister. Liberia representative to the United Nations.
And
I don't really know so they suit.
My man, listen, let me tell you what happened to the suit. I know what happened to the suit. You know, sometimes when you walk in the store, you see big and tall. You think how you were low when you wear it too. But when you that window curtain, man. That window curtain. I may just took that window curtain. I may use over there. So big and tall.
If you are looking for a reason why our foreign policy issue, that was the truth. And that is George Weah's foreign minister. This is Joseph Bakai's foreign minister.
Target, Sarah, Beslo, Yanti, Her Excellency.
More, go carry the picture back to that foreign minister. I got something I want to say about it.
What's about the chief of protocol? More, you got to do that into.
So you know they say first impression counts. Okay, so if this guy, usually when you call your name to people, they go try checking behind you to see where it is. And this kind of picture show up. There's another picture the guy took to Capitol building, I think with the U.S. ambassador or something like that. And you see him there like that. So you send this guy and give him a very important assignment to be our representative at the United Nations. All right. Then later you make this guy a minister of foreign affairs.
Yeah.
Okay. And people see this and they will start to wonder, what's going on.
Let us talk to Trump president. They may go to Trump with a kind of
You're not even enter. You're not enter.
Trump will say, what kind of suit is this? What are you doing with it? This is blanket or is window curtain? This suit.
Patrick, my man now. This man.
Great Dimas, ba. Dimas. My man, Ali play more suit from the Peki. I am laughing. Ali Mude suit. Folks, share the show.
And I did the song was hot. The song was hot.
All right. Let me welcome all of the folks following us. All of y'all joining on tomorrow holiday in LRB. So for you, Zoe Jala, and the rest of the crew joining us, we ask you one thing to do. The first pop quiz is to share the show. Share the show. That's the pop quiz tonight. So let me say to all of you watching us and listening to us on Punch FM 106.7, we'd like to welcome you in Sino County on Buto Radio and D2 Radio in Sino. I heard Milton TJ talking today. In Grand Jide County, Top FM is relaying. In Nimba, we have Voice of Gompa and Radio Yalimba in Nimba County. In Bon County, Radio Kwatike is relaying. In Lofa County, we have the Voice of Lofa, Radio Kantuma, and Radio Makona in Lofa. Magibi, Radio Magibi is relaying. Bomi Trust FM is relaying this show. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us. Steven is still grappling with his network. Share the show. Let's get ready to rumble. Tonight at His Excellency's place, they're celebrating 53 years. 53 freaking years of marriage. Wow. Look at that. Guys, what do you think?
It's remarkable. Look, let me say this. The very community that we talk about every single day, the pillars of this community was the cohesion of the family unit. And nowadays, both men and women, every small team, people chakla. But what you don't understand is you're destroying the legacy that you should be building. There will be disagreements, but you got to keep it together. And I think Honorable Bouaka has set a standard here for the country to recognize that marriages is not just about being with one person. It's about holding that community together. 53 years, way before I was born, it's a great, great, great example for the Republic of Liberia. And before I give it to you guys, I want to start a tradition here, guys. If you're watching from anywhere in the country, let's assume you're watching from Ganta, put Ganta, Nima County. I want to know the towns across Liberia. If you're watching from Butu, if you're watching from Sesto, just put Sesto River Test. I just want to be, picking up some towns across the country. Don't worry about the spelling so much. Spell it as closely as you can. I'll give it back to you guys.
Yeah. So welcome, guys. We're about to do what's trending. Steven Johnson is actually the guy to do this presentation tonight. But hey, Steven, so I just got to try my best. Larama, welcome. Mo, welcome. Sam, welcome. And Dwalu, welcome. We don't have a guest tonight, so tonight is good to be back. Yeah, it's really good to be back.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you.
So I will move on to what's trending and just gave a rundown of some of the things happening in our country. We're still looking at some of the things that happen, and I'm doing this until Steven comes. I think I see him trying to get in. We're still looking at some of the things that happened on the 26th, the bid up to the 26th, the fiesta. Steven, you're back. I hope you are better now. Are you better now, Steven? Okay. So there he goes again. We're also, the traffic management thing, I want us to put a spotlight on this today because it is trending and tomorrow is national holiday. Too many things to talk about concerning that. I've seen some opposition people writing on Facebook, the president ain't get the authority to do this and all of that. Perhaps they've forgotten that President Weah declared a national holiday for everybody to stay home and count themselves, even though everybody did not count themselves, everybody didn't stay home that day. So let's move on to what's trending, and I'd like to begin with Sam Nangbe first. Sam, let's take it from bottom to top.
So for me, what's trending will be about the MCC and whether or not, we are being considered or we are under consideration. So there's been some back and forth. Initially, we ran with that information, and then we heard the Minister of Finance providing some clarity. So today, some contacts I had, they sent me a list of, and I'll send that list to you, Patrick, globally, to see who all, oh my God.
Patrick, I think same internet has a problem, or somebody is calling him.
Yeah. Oh, Sam, you are awful. So let's move on to Sam. You're off. Larama, let's hear you. What's trending at your end?
Let me start by saying welcome back. I want to say thank you to all of our panelists for joining, our students from far and near across the diaspora. We appreciate you. Continue to share the show. I think I would like to begin by saying congratulations to Mr. President. 52 or 53? 53 years,
53.
right?
53.
Yeah, 53 years of unbroken vow. I think it resonates. Two things for me stand out. One is to this generation of our young people who are getting married, and we have one of the highest rate of divorce cases in the court. We can learn from the president, and even for those of us who are recently married, pushing up to 2 years of marriage happily, and I think it's an example to emulate. The second part is that I would really like for us to show light. I think the media did a wonderful job, but quite recently, the speaker, and I think the timing coincided with the entire 26th celebration, so it was not a really, really big news, but the speaker of the 55th National Legislature, Honorable Richard Namwekon, did something amazing. It's a groundbreaking history. Coordinating other speakers within the Mara River UN South Basin, and is showing for the first time in the history of the basin that they can come together and form the MRU Parliament, just as we have the ECOWAS Parliament and the AU Parliament. I think the MRU has been one of the first sub-regional blocks that came together, creating and paving the way for any sub-regional bloc as far as Africa unity and the cohesiveness that is needed for us economically, trade-wise, and other people. So I think it's a big deal. Sometimes somewhere along the line, there's a need that we have the speaker or a representative of the office of the speaker to come in to talk more about this vision, because I think it's a legendary thing that he has started, and it's up to us to even belong it along the ways. But that's what's trending for me, and we'll talk more about the LTMI and what it means for Liberia. I've been reading on it, but once that moment comes, we'll talk more. But over to you, Patrick.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to Sam. But Sam, I see you yet. Wait on. Sam, let's hear you.
Yeah, so I just sent something to you, Patrick.
Yeah,
Well, there's echo in mine. So what I wanted to talk about was this MCC, and just looking at something that someone shared with me, which I sent to you. You see, if you see the number of countries that were earlier under consideration for the MCC that has been terminated, in terms of, or that have been recommended for termination, and see the number that have been recommended to continue compared to the number that are under review, board review, you will see that we stand a good chance, and I think we should continue to push for this. I see on the continuation, I see on this list, Senegal is also on that list. And then, yeah, but there's a lot of countries who have been terminated based on that information that I have. But I think it's a good thing that we are staying there, and hopefully the guy was telling me maybe in the next couple of days we should have a formal announcement on that. Over to you, Patrick.
Oh yeah, sure, certainly. Thank you so kindly. Dwalu and then Ali.
Yeah, to our people, you're welcome. Thanks for sharing the show. For me, what's training? There is an increased training for county attorneys across the country. The government is now focused on strengthening the government's prosecutorial arm across the country. One of the things that have weakened Liberia for so long is our refusal to quickly enforce the law, or at least go through the court process. So the government is re-strategizing. There's a publication today on Front Page Africa regarding the county attorneys, and especially in Monrovia, they're retraining so they can hasten the process towards prosecution. If we have these cases lagging in these jails or courthouses for a very long time, people feel there is no justice in the system and there is nothing happening. Let me tell you something. For our society to grow, people have to feel that there is a balance, especially when it comes to righting the wrongs against them through the courts. So I think this is a big deal for me, and I've always spoken about it. I personally believe Liberia has only one problem, and it is easy for us to always say we have tons of problems. I believe there is a singular problem in Liberia, and that problem is a lack of law enforcement, and that is the whole 9 yards. I'm not just talking about arrest. I'm talking about arrest, prosecution, adjudication, and imprisonment. The whole 9 yards. This is the singular problem of our republic. So when the government is putting money towards quickening the pace towards prosecution and strengthening the judiciary in that manner, and I think it's strengthening our democracy. This is good for Liberia, and I want to commend the administration for this. Let's continue to make sure people get justice, and they get it very quickly. Patrick.
Yeah, thank you. Let me also welcome Call. Thanks for joining us. Ali, let's hear your trending issues quickly.
So I got 2 issues quickly. Today, our ambassador to the US, Dr. Al-Hassan Conte, presented his letter of credence to President Donald Trump at the White House. And I believe this is a good moment, a historic moment, because Dr. Conte had the opportunity to meet other diplomats who were also presenting their letters of credence and discuss diplomatic issues, build relationships, and everything. I believe gradually we are getting there, where Liberia is once again a very respectable member of the international community. On the water and sewer front, today we signed an agreement with the National Port Authority to restore their water supply after many, many years. So we went there today. We signed the contract. What's going to happen, we will reconnect the entire free port of Monrovia to the water supply system, and that they will be able to supply water to vessels, ships that are coming in. How they are doing it this time, they have to truck water, from far away places. When ships come, they have to truck water and to the port. Most of the time, the ships do not trust the quality of the water, and so when they are coming, they have to overload themselves with water. So this is going to be a very big boost for both the NPA and the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. And I also wanted to say kudos to my friend, Comrade MD Amos Tue. They brought in 3.5 or so million of petroleum products today, PMS, gasoline. And then I see people jumping all around on social media. Some of our colleagues who we thought before they will speak on issues, they will go to do a little bit of research. They will not do it. Again, by the act or whatever document that created LPRC, that document is clear. LPRC is supposed to be the only entity in this country to import petroleum products. If any other person wants to import, they have to get permit from LPRC. So for the last 40 years, LPRC has only been there storing petroleum products and giving permits. They have not been fully functional as per the document that created or established that entity. So we now have a very proactive managing director at LPRC, along with his team and his board of directors, who decided that, look, we are going to move a step further in order to reduce the risk of having petroleum shortage on the market. So we now assume one of our statutory responsibility to start bringing in products on the market. So today, they inaugurated the first 10,000 metric tons, and we want to say kudos to them. They've put up announcement. Importers who want to buy, you don't have to go through all of the things of getting import permit or buying and shipping for the next 1 month to come. LPRC is now there for you. So, Patrick, over to you.
Thank you very much. I see Fadiga joining us. Fadiga, are you finding your face, my man? Oh, let's hear you.
Fadiga very because you now get anniversary to celebrate at the meeting there.
53 years old. Cole, let's hear you. Welcome.
I don't know, but that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time. And hello everyone. I was actually going, I'm glad you did the segue into the anniversary. I was going to say that what an example for our children and for our society and for our country to show that kind of longevity and commitment in marriage and that commitment to family. It's important for leaders to set that example, because the nuclear family is the building block of civilization. It begins with the nuclear family. It then goes on to the clan or the extended family, and then the clan and the community, the nation, right? So setting that example that you make a commitment to your family and you stay committed to your family, and you set an example for your children and your other descendants on what to follow. Boy Kai celebrating this anniversary is displaying in a leader the kind of character and personality we want to follow in society. I say this even when it comes to when we're considering electing representatives and senators. I repeatedly tell Liberian people and American people and whoever I come in contact with, if your spouse cannot trust you, nobody should. If you are married and you are humiliating your spouse by having overt interactions with other women outside of your marital vows, whether you be a monogamous or a polygamous, you have vows that you must stay to. It doesn't give you right to promiscuity and having your girlfriends cussing one another on social media. We have a president that has conducted himself with the utmost dignity and self-respect. And I'm so proud to say that Liberia's president is not making a mockery of family and making a mockery of the type of ethics that all civilization should be built upon. Happy anniversary, Mr. President, Madam First Lady. I am extremely proud to say that you are the leaders of our country because of the way you've conducted yourself and set an example not only for me and my husband, but also for our children. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And
I just want to.
Fadiga, go ahead.
I just want to buttress what you said. Look, Michelle Obama said, I hope I'm quoting her right. She said,
I mean, you married? You married?
When he gets
coming to-
married, he knows what to do. I'm
I know
forced.
what to do. Well, she said the presidency doesn't change you, it reveals who you are. And Cole said it best. One of the things the Civil War did to this generation and to this country was it destroyed the family structure in Liberia. The Civil War, actually, when I go around Liberia, and I've gone to other African countries, one of the biggest problems we have in this country is the breakdown of our family structure. Children don't even know what it is to live in a home with both parents, come home, have a decent meal where people can sit on the table with your parents, and actually they can use that time to observe you if you taking drugs, if you're going astray, where you can talk. We do not know that. A lot of this younger generation do not even know what that is. By 17, 18, some of these young children are already in the street trying to be breadwinner for themselves or even for their family. You don't see that in the rest of the sub-region as it is so prevalent here. And that is hurting us. To see a president, the commander-in-chief that has been with this one person for a year, that is a complete contrast from the past, where we had a flamboyant playboy that was very promiscuous, girlfriend 14 here and there. It's different. Look, the president should be a role model. He should set the tone for the nation. He should be an example for everybody to see this family structure, the old-fashioned family structure. I think a lot of young people will be looking at this and saying, probably I want to be like that. Because this generation that is so much filled with young people, they don't even know what family is. I know young children, young girls that are barely 18, 20, they're already living on their own. In the sub-region, most of the children, if they're not married, they're not living in their parents' home. They're not living in their parents' home. They can be whatever age, especially the women. In the Guinea, even it's still happening in Sierra Leone, most countries, 20, 30s, if they're not married, they're still in their home. But in Liberia, the children leave the home early. They are on the street because they have not seen what family look like. And a lot of them growing up in broken homes, single family home. It is prevalent in Liberia. It's even worse in the U.S. You'll be surprised. If you go to the U.S., it's that way too. And I think it's hurting our nation. And I'm just so proud that we have a president that I'm stuck. I'm annoying, so I know to keep up with me for that long, it will be a headache to see a president and a first lady that stay with her husband for all these years. Want to say congratulations, happy anniversary. But I just thought I would add that there. Patrick.
Thank you so much, Fadiga. Now, Stephen, you're back, so I'm going to turn over to you. Stephen, they want a stingray Benet on now. Can you hear me, Stephen?
I'll leave Stephen on the thing today. Let's move on. Stephen, internet. Yeah.
All right, guys. So tomorrow is national holiday. I want us to begin with this, and I'd like to get your thoughts. There are too many theories out there, too many comments, too many posts, varying posts. One view is that the president does not have the authority constitutionally to declare a national holiday. There's another view that says, but wait a minute, the president declared a national holiday for all Liberians to do their census, and it was the former president. Let's begin with Ali. Stephen, you're back. Let's begin with Ali on this.
I mean, y'all rush for me. Let me talk quick before the thing keep misbehaving. Don't let me host. The thing keep going off and coming. I know what's going on.
Go ahead. Ali, go ahead. Stephen, go ahead if you can hear me. Stephen, somebody call the police for Stephen. Ali, please go ahead, yeah?
All right, Patrick. Well, so first, there there is this argument around from others that the president does not have the right to just declare holiday. And I am not a lawyer, so I have been around Facebook checking up to see what the lawyers will say. And I read one interesting piece from a lawyer, Duana Bakongo Sise. And he wrote on the president's right. Well, it's not in the Constitution, but they cited some law that gives the president the right to declare holiday. And I just start from the one. Does the recent presidential proclamation declaring July 30, 2025 as a national day of prayer is grounded in executive prerogative and cultural considerations? Because the guy argued that Title 26, he said, why Title 26 of the Liberian Code of Law revised formally designate fixed holidays, example, Independence Day, J.J. Rao, further authority is provided under the Labor Practices Law, particularly Section 18 of the Labor Practices Law of Liberia. The President of the Republic of Liberia may, by proclamation, declare any other day to be observed as a public holiday throughout the Republic. This clause gave the President wide latitude to respond to national sentiment, memorialize significant events. National sentiments, memorialize significant events, or designate days of reflection, all without needing legislative action. Does the proclamation fit any of those categories? I would say yes. It's a day. Now, we all will agree that Liberia is a deeply religious country. Even if we are not behaving like some of us, but the majority and the very foundation of this country dictates that, we are religious people. So it's a day of national reflection. It's a day of healing. It's a day of coming together to say thank you for the peace that we've enjoyed. It's a day of coming together to remember the thousands and thousands of people who died during our civil conflicts or during our political crisis and civil upheaval. So I'm not sure why these guys are so angry about it. And so I even say, and I see people that I say, the religious people, then sometimes they can confuse us. I see people who go to church every day talking about, people will start a prayer from, I will start a prayer. People who go to mosque also, I will start the prayer. What do you go and pray for? Okay. If you don't want to go to church or go to a mosque or to your worship center, sit down to your house and pray. Reflect on some of the things that you want to do. But lastly, here's the thing that's making them vex. Apparently, they didn't know about this law, because if they did, we would have declared every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday holiday so that we could just enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Dwalu, more than 200,000 people lost their lives. There hasn't been a day set aside to memorialize, to remember those people who lost their lives. I saw a video today, Dwalu, of a young man pushed in the bush only in underwear.
I saw that.
He was pushed in the bush, and I saw this guy with Beretta gun pointed at him.
I've seen that photo.
You saw it, right?
Yeah, I've seen that photo.
And I was, and Stevie and I were talking, and I was saying to the KD guy, and Stevie was saying, no, I don't think the KD guy. So I said, it was not possible then for them to spare that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Patrick, I think you and I had the same opinion about that particular photo. I don't think that guy survived.
I don't think he survived. I mean,
because the guy who was holding the gun pointed at him was already in the mood of shooting.
And by that time, there was no smartphone. So there was an international journalist, perhaps, that captured that particular photo. Dwalu, let's hear you.
Well, my man, I'll better take the 30 seconds to talk about the issue. This declaration or proclamation from the president it's not something that is mandatory for anybody. This is an option. This is a recommendation. You can either take it or don't take it. I don't know why we would be quarreling about something that has literally nothing to do with anything. If this is declared and you believe there is something significant to you as it relates to your own personal spirituality, you take advantage of it. Other than that, you don't. That's what I'm going to say to that. I don't see it's a big deal, really.
Larama, you go.
So, Patrick, there's no debate about that. There are established national holidays, and the president commemorated those holidays through proclamation as contained in Title 26 of the Liberia Code of Law Review. And subsequent amendment to that law also gives the power to the president to proclaim as deemed necessary for the state to call on any day specific as a holiday. So out of those who are making noise about this are not reading, and we expect that most of the people on the other side to not read, perhaps. As Trump would say, beautiful English, they do not speak beautiful English. They have not been reading, and the best of their lives have been thrown out of the ranks and file. So I don't make debate with people, in that category. But what the president did is legitimate, and he's consistent with the law.
Let's move on to Fariga.
Well, we all know that it's the legislature that said those things, but the president can make some proclamation, and it's not a permanent thing. I don't think it's a permanent thing.
It's not that.
That's the key word. So this is a temporary thing, and the president can do it. Sometimes when people pass away, they can say the flag should be flown, half-staff. President can make a lot of proclamation. President can have, I don't think, and then look at the intention. Look, people will complain regardless. There are some people that are just crybaby. They will throw out the kitchen sink to see which one will stick. This is, look, it's called, in America, they call it silly season. People are politically crazy in this country. They will say anything. They will throw. They are looking for, trying to grab straw. They cannot find a real thing to pin this president down on. So they will throw everything, and, with that hope that one might stick. And this is just not one of them. Because the president did not say only Christians should pray tomorrow. The president did not say only Muslim. The president says a day that we should sit together as a nation and reflect, pray to God, especially with all the good things that have gone on for Liberia in the last couple of days. We have one of the best July 26th in history, where Liberians from all walks of life, all over the world, Belgium, Australia, Minneapolis, all over the world, came together to celebrate. So I think the president just doing the right thing as the president. He's being responsible, and I think he's using his presidential proclamation the right way. So we shouldn't beat ourselves on this. And people will make noise, but to pray to, this is a very religious country. Are you going to get there with the president for praying when we had Fokekon Church with a pastor that cannot even quote one Bible verse, but he's still on the pulpit and insult people for 6 years? That's blasphemy. One of the sins that can never go unpunished. So, the old deacon made the right decision. I call him Experienced Joe. Patrick.
God, let's move on to you. And as you're talking, I'd like you to weigh in on the very essence of the day itself, coming on the heels of President Bouakar's decision to recognize publicly the various countries that participated in ECOMOG. And I'd like to play this before you can weigh in on this call. Let me just play this quickly. This is courtesy of TZ Africa.
Liberia's President Joseph Boakai has declared Wednesday, July 30th, a national holiday for citizens to pray for peace and unity. In a statement to the nation on Monday, July 28th, President Boakai said, "Let us embrace forgiveness of ourselves and one another, for it is only through reconciliation that we can fully heal and move forward as one people." Ahead of the National Prayer Day, Boakai said he was calling on all Liberians and everyone within the borders of Liberia to gather in churches, mosques, and other places of worship to seek God's face. The July 30th prayer holiday in Liberia comes 3 months after the nation observed a similar holiday on April 11th, 2025. During the April holiday, President Boakai said the day was set aside for supplication, prayer, fasting and meditation so that Liberian people's efforts may be crowned with great achievements. The Liberian law says the second Friday of April must be a national fast and prayer day for prosperity of the nation. Liberia's civil war, spanning 2 major phases between 1989 and 2003, claimed approximately 250,000 lives. Since assuming office in January 2024, President Boakai has made efforts to reconcile the nation and close the country's harrowing chapter. Boakai has since presided over the reburials of Liberia former President William Talbot and Samuel Doe. Talbot was assassinated in Liberia's 1980 coup, while Doe was killed in 1990 under disturbing circumstances. The practice of holding National Prayer Day is not unique to Liberia. Ghana held its National Prayer Day on July 1st, South Africa held one on June 22nd, while Kenya held its Prayer Day on May 28, 2025. Zambia's National Prayer Day is a public holiday and it is observed on October 18th every year.
Brilliant report. Call, you're back. Where is she? You're back. Call, brilliant report from that reporter. Let's hear you.
Okay, so I'm gonna probably say something unpopular, but I have a conviction. I think that we have to remember, and I understand why the president did it. He's a religious man, as Fadiga correctly said, he's a deacon. I don't know if it's appropriate for us to have the government telling us when to pray. We are a secular state. We keep saying this. The 1956 law, Title 26, is about cultural and patriotic observations. So yes, prayer is a cultural observation, and that is why they were able to bring in, like, is 1956 is when Christmas was officially recognized as a government holiday. People don't know that. Christmas wasn't recognized before 1956. It was Tubman that declared these holidays in 1956. They were not through the legislature. And this is why when lawmakers were trying to, especially Edwin Snow was trying to push to have an Islamic holiday through the legislature, I said, but Christmas wasn't legislated. It was done through the Liberian Code of Laws. So it is also, if we want to do Ramadan, it should be done the same way Christmas was done, which is through a cultural and patriotic holiday. It wasn't legislated through the legislature. It was a presidential decree. So the people who are saying the president doesn't have the authority to do this, they're just making stuff up. They don't know what they're talking about, and they have no context of history. They don't know anything about Liberia because we're not even talking about the 1800s, we're about 1956 here. So I don't know why people like to have these strong, uninformed opinions about things. One, Boakai has every authority to declare a holiday. That is indisputable. And absolutely, prayer can be considered a cultural observance because religion is cultural. So that is absolutely undisputable. But personally, my personal conviction is that I would rather not have my government telling me when to pray. That's just me. I would rather not have the government involved in telling me when to pray. I don't personally believe that that is the role of government and should be the role of government. We have religious leaders. We have diverse religions. Some people do not pray in the same way as others. And I just think government needs to stick to the business of governing and stay out of spiritual event issues, personally. But again, like I said, the president does have the right, and more important than the right, the legal authority. And all presidents since 1956 have had the legal authority to declare holidays. So boycott was not in error for declaring this a holiday. It is absolutely prayers under cultural observations. And just because I don't think government should be telling me when to pray doesn't mean that the president is wrong for declaring this holiday. That's my point.
Thank you so kind. Who else? Nangbe?
When Paul speaks like that, when Paul speaks, it's difficult to go back, to be able to. But look, we all have said the same thing. It's within the president's right to proclaim. He has proclaimed, and the reasons why this proclamation is being made has been made very clear, especially, and thank you for playing that reportage from wherever you got it from. Very, very clear. We have all cried for reconciliation. We've all cried for closure for the unfortunate things that happened during the civil crisis, not just the civil crisis, but events before the Civil War. And the president has taken that seriously. He's a listening president. And he decided that, look, we have to find a way to be able to have a closure on this so that we move ahead. Okay, so a series of events has happened this year particularly, including the reburial, including the apologies, including all these prayer events. So I guess these are the final issue, which is related to the construction of a memorial, the recognition also of people from the sub-region that came to help us during ECOMOG, those that died here. So I think these are calculated steps on the side of the president to ensure that we all have the closure that we all desire, we all are anticipating and yearning for. After this, we move forward with nation building. I don't think there's anything wrong, anything offensive for the president to proclaim that we all go to our individual places of worship, reflect, and then pray. This country is a deeply religious country. And so we have to recognize that. He didn't say you're forced to go to church. He didn't say you're forced to go to the mosques, or just take some time or do some reflection, think about what happened. Let's close this thing up and move forward. So I think we should move on with something else.
One of the recommendations, and Dwalu and Larama, Dwalu, have you spoken? I seem to have missed out. Okay. So Larama is next, and then we move on to the next round. One of the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission is to bring to closure the gruesome murder of all these people who died as a result of the civil conflict. And, the president has been intentional, as you heard in that report from that female reporter, about trying to use these months to deal with this matter so that it goes down in history. He also talked about doing a memorial for those who lost their lives, including the ECOMOG soldiers. I know 6 Senegalese died in Lofa, I remember, and some Sierra Leoneans also died. Larama, what do you think about the declaration of this holiday?
Well, I spoke earlier, but I think, like I said, this is a step in the right direction. On the issue of the legitimacy of the declaration and proclamation itself, those who are arguing against it are dead wrong. And the aspect of healing, the national healing crusade that was already started by President Bouaga, has got to come to an end. We started with the reburial of Dole, the reburial and memorial service of the 13 men plus that died after the assassination of William Awatobo. And those were men who served their country honorably. And it was a good thing for the country to remember them, especially given the way they were killed 10 days after April 12, 1980. Gruesome, stripped to the waist. And we hope as a country that dark past will never happen again. We also saw the president moving beyond the domestic stand of view in terms of reconciliation and healing, but extending gratitude and appreciation to ECOWAS, troop-serving countries, as well as people, soldiers who have boots on the ground, who may have died, and those who even survived, to say thank you. There was a time and moment in this country that Liberia was regarded, but in spite of our troubled past, you stood with us. There's no president in the history since our post-conflict reconstruction and reconciliation process that have seen the need to do this. President Bouaga is the last man in his generation to do it. So I think it's a welcoming call. And the president will be remembered in history as the only president in post-conflict Liberia who saw the need to put an end finally to our troubled past. We've seen that in troubled region. We saw that with Sierra Leone and how they did it, putting an end to the troubled past. We saw that in Rwanda. We learned from the good examples of South Africa, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report, and the TRC. The entire idea of the TRC was birthed out of best practice that happened in South Africa. So I think we have a moment, and we are seizing on this moment, and we are glad that President Bouaga is the one leading this charge.
Thank you, guys. Except somebody else wants to comment on this, you just alert me if you want to make.
Let me just say something very quickly because I'm seeing in the comments. I don't want people to think that I'm not a God-fearing person. I absolutely am. I'm not saying that I don't believe in prayer. I'm saying that on a political level, I believe and with strong conviction in the separation of church and state for many reasons I don't need to get into here. With that being said, my statement was that President Boykai, under this law from 1956, under Title 26, has every authority to declare a cultural observation day, a holiday under the auspice of a cultural observation. And that holiday can be a prayer day because prayer is in fact a cultural observation. That is what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm definitely a praying person, a God-fearing person. This is not, I don't get my religious conviction from my government. I get it from my pastor and my church, is my point. Thank you.
So tomorrow is the national. I see Fadiga, man.
And that's true too, though. Patrick, Kowich, right? If you miss those two, a lot of bad things can happen. And I agree with Kowo on that point, by the way.
No, but if prayer is culture, then the government, it's difficult to draw a line of divide between the two. And Liberia is not US, right?
Not for me, it's not difficult.
Like everything intertwined in Liberia. And I think there's a thin line between
some of it too is the way people understand religion. Like I see people in the comments, Pee Wee Sando says that, you know, it's from God that government came. I don't agree with that. I don't think God drew our boundaries. I don't believe that God is responsible for Liberia. I think Liberia was created by humans. God created the world and people create politics. So that's my belief. You understand? But most Liberian people think that God drew boundaries and made nationalities and all these things. That's okay. That's your belief. But everybody doesn't see the world that way. I think some things are secular and human beings do make things and create governments. And some human beings are not ordained by God to lead. They took power by violence. And so we got to stop this thing. You know, some people are, you know, but it's just, again, the reason I'm bringing that up is because people have a right to their beliefs. I'm not slamming anyone who thinks that we're puppets and God determines everything for us, but everybody doesn't interpret the Bible that way. And that's where the danger comes in. Where do you draw the line, as Larama said?
Yeah. So
can I add to
it's very important. I'm coming, Fadiga, you were coming next. It's very important that we put this in context before we move on to the next topic. I am told that the real reason, the main reason for the declaration of tomorrow is basically to remember the over 200,000 people who lost their lives. Their families have not had this opportunity. Today, the Office of the War Crimes Court joined victims of the Lutrin massacre there at the Lutheran Church to remember the victims today. That happened today. Tomorrow, the government wants to set this day, make history by remembering more than 200,000 people. At least that's what the records, would show. More than 200,000 people and I still doubt those figures. I think there could be more than that. Some people think there could be less, but those people who lost their lives in very unusual circumstances, many of whom do not have graves, they have not had memorials. Tomorrow is a day set aside. So it's not a fast and prayer day. It's a prayer, not fast and prayer, So, but anyway, let's hear you. Fadiga.
Pastor, trying hard to to provide a context.
we have said it all, and I agree with Cole. Sometimes, a lot of times, we kind of get too extreme when it comes to religion. Now, I don't like to talk religion because some people can get into their feelings when it comes to it. But yes, there is a clear separation of church or religion and the state. But I think what this president is doing, we need to pay attention. Since the war ended, we have not healed. We have played lip service to healing. Everybody just said kumbaya, and we move on. Look, there can be no real peace in Liberia until we are healed. There will be no, we're not have the heal, and then the next thing is followed by justice. And I think the president, like all his predecessor, skip over those things, and they use it as a political tools and kick it down again. It was surprising to a lot of people when the president signed that war and economic crime. That was something that most people, even perpetrators, didn't believe that would have ever seen that day in court. Even now that it is signed, people are still struggling to see whether it will kick off and people will actually be held accountable. Because honestly, if we do not put in place deterrent mechanism, if similar situation present itself, those offenders will do the same thing. We are seeing it in a way that with corruption from a couple of years back and the way people do things, because we have not put in place any effective deterrent mechanism. In America, they say, you do the crime, you do the crime. There's nobody too big to be punished when it comes to that. We are seeing Mayor Ray Nagin from Kwame Kilpatrick, even Jackson Jr. I mean, people, permanent Americans that we once revered, gone down. Rob Milosevic, how they call him. So many people that have gone down but in Liberia, until we start seeing actual people paying for the crime, and I think the president ought to something, because if you follow the party, he doesn't. I mean, he's human too, but I see him make all the tough moves that people have used as political tools, starting with the war and economic crime, starting to putting people, even people close to him. So what we are seeing this day of prayer, I think is needed. We need to heal. And we can only do that by sitting down and having a reflection on what we did and making sure that it never repeated.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on.
I agree with Fadiga 100%. I think just to Stephen, what the next step beyond this is to see how we can actually fund the war on economic crime. They've been crying over several weeks since that was established. They are now embarking on a nationwide awareness campaign. They need funding in order to do the job they've been asked to do, and we have to get away from this trivial debate on things that the president has legitimate authority to do and focus on the real healing, because with healing comes justice, comes accountability, and I think it's time for people to be held accountable as a result of the civil conflict. Mo, I think you can take over. Patrick is somewhere in the back.
I'm not sure why the two main hosts are having issues tonight. These guys, we got to force them to get better internet. We have the Cole is laughing. Normally when it comes to religious topics in many countries, including Liberia. It's not something that, you know, we like to discuss too much, because most often, whatever you say, people tend to, you know, twist it around and make it look like you against religious thing, you against people praying. Once you express your opinion, it's like, oh, you don't believe in God and this and that. And so most time we don't like to engage into it. But there's been something, last night we discussed it a little bit, and I thought that's what Patrick wanted us to discuss as the second topic. This issue of the LTMI, that Liberia transport. I mean, what do they need, Larama?
So it's called the Liberia Traffic Management. So the traffic management signed that contract, which began an agreement with the government of Liberia in 2018. So it's
a little background of this. The government in 2018, when Weah was president, signed that. In fact, it was a concession. Signed a concession agreement with that company. I don't know the name, and they forwarded it to the legislature for ratification. The legislature ratified it. Now, when the company started bringing in their equipment and other things to begin the construction and start operation in their investment, then the treasurer of the CDC at the time, I think it's Uboti. I don't know his first name. I think it's John Uboti or something.
James Uboti, something like that.
Whatever, I know there is a J there. Uboti went and told Mr. Weah and the CDC that, look, this concession you gave into this company, give it to me and we can bring in big money. So they took it from the guy illegally after ratifying the concession, entering the contractual agreement, and gave it to MDNC of Uboti. Then the company went to court. Why the case was in court against the government of Liberia, and the government was going to lose the case. When I say we, it was during the Weah government. Later on, they wrote and said, we are ready to implement the contract agreement. The people started again. At a later time, they flipped again. So Justice Minister then Musa then said, this contract is a legitimate contract. We have to abide by it. Because Uboti was not the one to implement, the government then decided to play delay tactics. So today when you hear say, oh, you know, President Weah government signed a contract, why they didn't implement it because it was bad? Last night I made my position clear. I said because of the noise around it, it's good for the government to review it. But the Weah government did not implement, not because they didn't want to, but because they did not want the company that signed the contract, the concession with the government of Liberia to implement. They wanted the CDC treasurer, Uboti, who had promised that the concession was going to bring more. And so when we took over, the Senate, the president, there are letters there flying all over, legitimate legal letter, decided to investigate. They summoned the people, the transport ministers, and everybody. Another thing the CDC people did, they brought some paper that says, oh, You are not supposed to give lesson and lesson plate and this and that to private company. It's a function of transport ministry. We found out again that today that was not true. And so the government investigated, called justice ministers, they read the opinion of the Supreme Court, the different justice ministers interpreted it and said this contract is valid, is legitimate, is legal, and so the concession agreement the company should implement. Now the people who went through the entire 9 years of the concession agreement, they wanted to reverse it illegally, and they could not. Now they are the same people because they wanted their men to start to do it. Maybe they found out that there was a lot of money involved in it and they could have stolen more. Now they are the people moving around. And Senator McGill, Akaros Gray, my own brother, it's a dubious deal. It's not good for Liberia. It's this, is that. Let's take for granted that it is bad for Liberia. But you went on and signed the concession agreement. You send it to the legislature. They ratify it. What does that speak to that government? And the senator now of Magibi, who was then the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, is saying contradictory things, which gave us the inclination that there must have been something wrong with the psyche of these people. Let's have our opinion on this. I don't know. I just gave you the background of it, and maybe we can have our thoughts on it. Let's start up with Dualu.
Well, for me, I'm not going to talk too much on the thing. I believe the contract should be canceled for the following reasons. The initial formulation on the contract is flawed. I began reading through the contract. You can tell from the jump that this is not in the interest of Liberia. Look, there is this claim that because we want investors that we should literally concede to anything, even if it's to the detriment of our people. If a contract is formulated and that contract does not benefit the Republic, it should be looked at, especially if there is an indication that it will fraudulently formulated. I don't know why we are so hesitant to sometimes just do things the way they're supposed to be done. Look, people say, oh, investors will not come back. That ain't true. That ain't true. The returns in the country are ridiculous. Massive returns in the country. So investors will come there if they are treated fairly. But by the same token, we cannot allow ourselves to literally be subjugated in Liberia because we want investors to come to the country. My conclusion, if you don't want to cancel the contract, it must be reconsidered entirely and let me renegotiate it. But I would cancel the contract and resubmit a new bid for somebody else to come in and do the contract. If they want to rebid, they can do it at a time. Because from this inception, the contract is fraudulent to me. That's how I see it.
Go, your thoughts.
Whew. I think that motor vehicle registration and licensing is the function of government. I also think that based on my experience with the Ministry of Transport and Mr. Yabuti and the Liberia National Police and everything that has happened many years ago when I worked as Deputy Minister for Land and Rail Transport, some of the things that I discovered, there needs to be a massive overhaul. And cartels need to be broken. And systems need to be implemented so that government can receive its due revenue from the process of registering motor vehicles. More importantly than even the revenue is it's a public safety issue. We keep talking about this in this context of, oh, you know, revenue instrument, we got to raise money. We also need to make sure that there's public safety. Motor vehicles are the operation of motor vehicles and the licensing of drivers are a public safety issue. It is a public policy issue. And repeatedly, government has failed to ensure public safety. when it comes to the operation registration of motor vehicles. Does that mean that government cannot do it? No, it means that in order for government to do it, a lot of resources need to be poured in that have not been poured in. All of you who are listening to me know what I did when I was Deputy Minister of Land and Rail Transport. You all know what I did. I had to do training myself because there were no resources. All of you know Joe Roberts, who was a director at the time, Representative Abu Kamara was the assistant minister. Not Abraham, what's Dylan's brother's name again? Anyway, he was an inspector at the time. We went to Cotton Tree. Oliver. Yes, Oliver. Sorry, Oliver. I didn't mean to forget your first name. I just be chatting with your brother all the time, so your first name slipped me. Oliver Dillon. And I'm calling your names because I want people to know that it's true. I want people to know that the gravity of it and that it's true. Oliver, Joseph Roberts, myself, and that time Abu Kamara was assistant minister on a Saturday morning because we started seeing a lot of funny things. Saturday morning, Friday, I told him tomorrow morning, y'all, let's meet, take the pickups and inspectors, and we're going to go to any brand. I didn't tell them the location. I said, we're going to go to a a checkpoint, not parking station, a checkpoint, and to conduct an inspection. Saturday morning, so, it will be too soon. I said, let's go. 6 a.m. We met at the junction in my house on Rafi Highway. We drove to Cotton Tree. I didn't tell them ahead of time we were going to Cotton Tree. I just say I'll meet at my house road junction and then we'll go from there. We drove straight to Cotton Tree. We got to Cotton Tree, got down from the car. It was during Ebola time, 2014, when people were still having to get down from the car to wash their hands with Ebola bucket. When I listen to this story, they had to get down from the car to wash their hand with Ebola bucket. And so we were going to conduct an inspection, random, unannounced inspection that day. And Joe Roberts, Oliver Dillon, Abu Kamara, myself, there were a couple other inspectors. Those are just the names I can remember. We get down from our cars. We told the police that were in, the commander that was in charge of Cotton Tree, hey, we're coming to motor vehicle inspection. Oh, y'all didn't announce it. I said, it's our mandate. We don't have to announce it. We're not going to, obstruct traffic. Get out of our way. Let us do our job. We arrested literally 460 illegal motor vehicle papers, registration papers, license plates, and driver's license. 460 pieces, all of which had the signatures and they were issued by Liberia National Police. And I called those names because I want you all to verify with them if this is true. While we were in the process and we started to realize that all of these out-of-town cars are being registered by the police and not the Ministry of Transport. They're running a separate motor vehicle registration operation. They're bearing signatures of LNP officers. So we're doing this. Somebody at the depot gets a phone call. Get out, rudely get out of there. Y'all get off from there. I don't want whole deputy minister. They say I rudely get. Deputy minister being told by lower level police, when I'm breaking no laws, I'm exercising my mandate respectfully and responsibly to leave Cotton Tree because I'm causing problem. They were too late. I already have all the documents. One of the people who were with me from Transport Ministry, I'm not going to name which one of them, said, give me the documents. Let me carry it to the minister. I said, you think I'm crazy? I will not let go of these documents. Let me back up a little bit. One of the people whose vehicle we stopped was a guy. His name was Nimley. He was driving. His last name was Nimley. He was driving U.S. military personnel. I don't know where they were going. And we stopped that car too. Oh, they get U.S. Marines in the car. I will stop the car. We're not at war. They have to follow our rules. Guess what? The guy driving the car who was contracted by the U.S. government had an illegal driver's license. I confiscated that too. And out of courtesy, I allowed him to continue because he had the U.S. military personnel. That's how serious it was. I packed all those documents. I put a report together. I gave one copy to Chris Massaquoi. I walked it to his office, didn't give it to anybody that cared about Cal. I took it myself and handed it to police 100 at the time was Massaquoi. I took the other set of documents to the late Dr. McCain in the president's office. Let me tell you something. We cannot fix Liberia if we sit here and pretend that things are not upside down like this. This is more than philosophical talking about, and the government should be doing this one, and this is this. It's about us also when we serve as civil servants, when we serve as police, when we serve as transport inspectors. If we don't do the right thing, it affects our own job security. And that's just one story. That's just one example. So I understand why we are here. Is my point. And I told you that story so you can understand the context and why they're saying maybe we should outsource some of this stuff. Because all of us get together and we just do whatever we want to do. You understand? So I don't mean to hog the show, but I wanted to give the context. The corruption is so deep-seated. It's not just a matter of training about how to do it. We know how to register cars. The license plate coding was designed. The license plates were designed and coded right at the Ministry of Transport. We've got capacity. We've got brilliance. The people at that Ministry of Transport are not stupid. They're brilliant people over there. The upside down behavior is a choice.
Before you finish, please tell what happened afterward.
I'm not going to get into all of that, but you know the answer already. There were consequences. There were in fact consequences.
The story ended in chair.
It ended. There were consequences, and that's the most I would say. There were definitely consequences because of that Cotton Tree investigation. And like I said, I called Oliver DeLonge's name. I called Joe Roberts' name. I called Honorable Abu Kamara's name because he was my assistant minister at the time. That's what we did. So and that's where I know Abu from. He's a hardworking guy. Even though we don't agree politically, Abu is a hardworking guy. He was out there from that 6 o'clock in the morning until the sun beat us and all. So we know what we did for our country. And yes, there were consequences. But again, once you leave, things fall apart in your absence because people are more comfortable doing things the way they shouldn't be done. And that particular situation is on the record. It's public record. So that's why I shared it. But there's a lot more I don't even want to get into before they come run me out. They won't allow me to get back in the country if I talk too much.
So, thank you, Paul. Professor Fadiga.
Look, Cole, I agree with a lot of things, but I want to play devil advocate here. I don't believe that the whole agreement was fraudulent. I think because it was signed, it was ratified by our national legislature. Based on what Cole is saying, I know Sirleaf is the current minister is a very capable guy. He was here the other time. We I've talked to him a couple of times. I know his vision for that entity. But as a nation, want this country to reach to the point where road safety is prioritized. More people die senselessly on our road for no reason, especially things that can be avoided. I see too many accidents. I don't know whether we're taking track of it, but people die because of a lot of stupid things. Like after 10, 11, 12 in the night, that's when you see the real crazy things. It's like all the illegal cars get on the road, no light, no headlight, no tail light. People parking on the road, they kind of use it, when the police not around to move things. We need to regulate those things. It's a means of revenue generation. Look, once you heard people park it, there's a reason why a four-way stop sign in the US, when you come to it, you don't need to see a police, you just come and stop. I remember when my cousin just came to the States, he said, "The guy in the machine here that can stop a car." I said, "No." He said, "But why you just stopping? I see nobody there." I said, "Because the day the police find you, what you're going to get, you yourself, you will not want to do it again." So people come to a four-way stop sign, just stop. And then everybody wait and go. Even when nobody there, even in the remotest part of America, you see people will come and stop. There is a reason. We have traffic like here now, especially the Pittsville area and something. You will come. I see people still flying. Some people look, I must give people credit because right now around the Dupont Road Junction and something, I see people actually coming to a stop. And there are some idiots that will still come in, woo, 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 woo. And what if you get hit? So we need to have a traffic management in those areas to make sure that something it's not going to be just one-off thing. It needs to be permanent, so people know that there is this general expectation that if you drive recklessly, there will be consequence. You will either have your vehicle or motorcycle confiscated. You could go to jail for being reckless and other things. We need to serve it not only in Monrovia but all over, so that people stop dying from being overcrowded in some truck because they want to go make market and then they die. I see people on the highway, 10, 20 people laying down, and I don't understand it. For me, some of us have our own cars, but just people that have to use those routes, why they have to put themselves in harm's way. So we need it. Now, to go specifically to this whole traffic management thing, I read through it. Some of the things that they said the traffic management were going to do. I've seen the facility. If they have the logistics, if they have the infrastructure that the government currently don't have, I see a way that we can have a win-win situation in this thing, because we can play with the numbers, especially the 70-something. In the long term, we could have toll booths and all the different things that I saw in the concession is very rich. There are some things that I see, many things that I see that can be beneficial to the country if you actually look through the document. But there are some things too that doesn't make no sense. I think we can fine tune it. But my dream that I hope to see come from all of this is that the Liberian people win. Where we have a traffic management team that would not be taking $10, $20, that will actually enforce our traffic law across every length and breadth of this stuff. This country, and some of those things I saw it in the agreement, and I think we can build on it. I do not like the hullabaloo that will keep politicizing things because it doesn't serve us right. The part of the matter here is we need something like a traffic management to regulate our record traffic. We need it. Whether it comes from transport or LMP or something, the part of the matter here, it needs to happen. If the traffic management has the logistics, come on board. Let us make this thing work, that we can work together and make it work for the Liberian people.
Exactly. Thanks for that, Al.
Thank you, Al. So, Uncle Samuel, Nangwe, Samuel Nangwe.
So, Nangwe, Boke Nangwe. So, as I listen to all of you and then reflect back, in a day, I think it's sad that we've put revenue over and above public safety. This is sad. All of this discussion, you hear people say, when it's at the Ministry of Transport, the potential to generate this amount of revenue and this and that. So we need to ask ourselves, for example, how did it work in the past? Who are responsible for the issuance of licenses? What processes preceded the actual issuance of a license? Or vehicle inspection, all these kinds of things. The key thing there is public safety.
Exactly.
But this now is being subjugated to the desire to raise revenue. So when we allow a private entity to take over a function of government, whether it was a place at the bequest of the Liberian National Police, or whether it's at the Ministry of Transport, I think fundamentally that was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it becomes the issue of how much money is generated, and then you begin to dilute all of the other requirements. I can go to, and stand today and say, look, I need a driver license. Nobody is subjecting you to go to do driving tests. Nobody is requiring this and that. You pay your money, you get your license, you go. Okay? And because of these kind of missteps, those people that are not qualified to operate certain category of vehicles, are endangering the lives of pedestrians and other road users. So for me, we got different ways to raise revenue. The main reason why we want to have this control in is so that our streets are safe. So people that are sitting behind the steering wheels of vehicles or the handlebars of motorcycles and so are cleared and have the skills and competence to be able to control and operate those things. You see, the police that will be in the street, they have the right skills. So for me, that's the sad part. Traffic management is all about revenue. So some of the complaints we get in, they say, oh, now they're running behind people, and I think there's a quota on how much money they should be able to do this. It's revenue. At the Ministry of Transport was there, it was revenue. Did we see reinvestment of all of the monies that was being collected into ensuring that the police and the public have benefit, to improvement in public safety? No. So that has to be a whole relook at this and go back to the original intent why people are issued license to drive. Why a vehicle must be qualified to get on our roads.
Yep.
Who does inspection of vehicle? No vehicle inspection this time before, they allow you to get on the road before you get your safety sticker. Nothing. Just pay the money.
Yep. That's
that's where I think we need to look at it. It's about the profit and everything that is associated with the process.
Sam,
so if we don't,
can I just add something to what Sam is saying? Just 1 second, Al. Let me give some context to what Al is saying. Thank you. First of all, Sam, thank you, Mr. Nangwe. What you're saying is 100% on point. It's like you were there with us in 2014. There was even a challenge from the Liberia Revenue Authority to take over motor vehicle registration and driver's licenses because they said the driver's license is a revenue instrument. Can you imagine? Not as if it's a flag receipt. And it went to President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and said, hey, and the transport ministry trying to make it too hard for people to get, and we only were doing written or verbal tests. If the person couldn't read it right, we would give the safety test orally because we did not have the capacity or resources to do road testing. So the minimum criteria for someone to get a driver's license was just an oral written test. And they went running to the president to complain that we were making it too hard to get driver's license and it was going to bring down revenue as if we had a competitor. Sam, what Mr. Nangwe just said is spot on. The mindset of many agencies in government is not about public safety. It's about revenue. Government does not exist strictly to collect revenue at the expense of public safety. Government is there primarily to ensure that the public is safe. The reason you collect taxes is to empower the government to protect the citizens and provide services to the citizens. You can't collect resources and give them driver's licenses without any accountability for safety. So I wanted to just buttress what Mr. Nangwe is saying, because it sounds obvious, but there are many government officials who don't understand that. And some of those people, even at that time, were at the Revenue Authority. So imagine, so government, Sam, you're right. We have public safety obligations to the citizens first and foremost. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to buttress what you were saying because people need to really get that part.
Go ahead.
So personally, I am not against anything that will bring sanity and sanctity to our traffic. I am one person who called the police all the time. Because sometimes even some of the traffic that we get into, right? When you go and see the end of the traffic, then you don't see why the traffic is there.
Yeah.
It's not like some cars that made accident or car broken down on the road. Like around the 26th, The traffic that was from Vamoma or all the way, when you come, you pass by Old Road Junction, then you don't see the traffic. You don't know why the traffic is there. A very serious issue. The second thing is the taxi drivers, the keke riders who are complaining. You know, the places they can park to take passenger, it can really be annoying. You moving and somebody just, like the guy sees a passenger and he wants to take that passenger, he just caught in front of you. That's why in Liberia, when you drive in, you got to drive for everybody. Sorry to say, but you got to drive for the smart driver, you got to drive for the stupid driver, you got to drive for the careless driver. Because if you're not careful, you hit them. Those kind of people who can just park anywhere at any time. The man will park in the middle of the road and you blowing horn behind him and he won't talk to somebody else. He just parking there. Somebody will just come and park that car on the side of the road. They're gone. They park it there, they're gone. What kind of car then? Told them, he carry them, they come here, they pay some money. Because in the revenue thing we're talking about, I believe those are some of the ways we can raise revenue. And now when you hear them complaining, or you know the this, the that, for me, I continue to insist that maybe I think we need to review the whole concession to see what it is. Is it for the country? Is it bad for the country? Is it good and bad? Where can we tweak it? And all if the law permits. Because let's remember now, it is a legal commitment between the government and ILMTR that was ratified by the legislature, which makes it a law. So we can sit and have all of the arguments against it. The president cannot just sit there and say, I don't want it to happen. Because that is one of the things that we are grappling with. People just think that the president can just sit there and say, I want anything to happen. It was signed by a duly legitimate elected government of Liberia. This government cannot just come and say, I will change it.
Mo, let me leave you guys, but you give me 30 seconds so I can run away. I'm begging you.
Yeah, after your 30 seconds, then we'll take calls. So okay, I just wanted to read this thing from Elizabeth Matthew Totman, where she said, my car was inspected by traffic management, 100% they checked my brakes, emission, lights, etc. I got my documents the same day. I love it. This is good. That's her opinion. And that's what she went through. She says good.
Well, most Liberian, I would say almost every Liberian wants to follow the law. If the process is transparent, fair, and quickly, they don't have to go through yama yama. But I want to say this. Look, they will say, "Dwell military man, my sister cold looking at me." I won't talk my thing, but I will say this though: you cannot develop a highly illiterate population through passivity. A calculated degree of constitutional force must be introduced. I believe this to my core. Liberia is not place for you to talk yaka yaka. People usurping their functions, where they're not supposed to be, they go there with total impunity, and we just don't talk about it. But my issue, what I want to say is, there are real people being affected negatively when these actions are taken.
Right.
Sometimes you can't do it because the other person know the other person. Look, until we become glan about the issues of Liberia, especially with law enforcement, I have no qualms about this. If we don't enforce the law stringently in the fashion where a man pays for his crime, I don't care even if that consequence is execution. I'm all for it. Because this country will not develop if we become lippy about law enforcement. The law has to be brutally enforced than any other society if we are going to develop. Or else, someone will come to government, they're making 1,005 and they got $2 million horse and they say, Kevin to court, you get evidence? The other ones will look for evidence for you. You guys, how you got a $2 million? My man, it was a great show to them. I gotta run over for you guys.
Thanks, Dwalu.
Thank you, Dwalu. So let's hear from the public on the topics that we've discussed and other burning issues. Our guy is here, he's on time. Harris Billy. Good evening, Harris. Harris, I think where you can be on whole day. You
So, I'm good. I'm doing wonderful. I guess everyone is.
Harris. Man, let's take some calls from the people. Announce the numbers so we can get rolling.
Okay, so we'll go to the phone lines. The numbers to call for those of us in Mosurado, you call us on 0778-665-699, 0880-561-644. And those of us in the counties, you call us on 0777-002-003 and 0555-002-003. Talk to our very first caller. Let's hear your name and call from where.
I'm thinking calling for comment to
Kolahun Lofa.
This awareness of this traffic management and I know why. And the government is active because we trying to be that it's a plan that was set for this government. So the government needs to look to government protesting the Western that state protesting from this transport to have to be very careful. We need to be very careful tomorrow. We look at the government. We want to hear any negative the government. So please let the government look into it. Appreciating the government and the government for you. You have to hear any negative about the government, any negative thing you have to come back. And when you start, more I will say I want the government. I have not done it. When the beginning of this month, I'm not saying. I'm not the problem. Think we want the government to tell you.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure they will address that. We talk to this person. The name you called from where? Somewhere you live.
Yeah, we have one issue I want to ask. Yeah, my question is, if somebody win on the show on a Friday, if they can receive the prize, because I have won twice, I won in Delhi, I didn't receive the prize, and also the tournament on the history for the tournament, I won again, I didn't receive anything.
Yeah, I sure that is. I'm saying I sure that has been processed, and you will get your prizes. I've submitted all of the names. I'm confident that you receive your prizes. Again, let's apologize for the delays anyway. Let's hear you.
Okay, so the issue. So actually the traffic issue. I think Liberia. I think the company that they are bringing, I think they should bring that particular company should take over the traffic management because the Liberian group they can do all of the job. So we will be in the president so that they can see how best they can work on that particular traffic issue because the Liberian group can now just this government is now government can tell the Liberian group because the CDC, the CDC.
Oh my word. You slipped off. We'll leave you talk to this person you live. The name you called from where?
Good evening.
Good evening. It's good to have you. Let's hear you.
This is Joseph M. from Tanzania.
Go on, Joseph.
The most common issue is about the traffic. As Mo Ali was saying last night, I think the best thing this government can do because this plan has been set for the previous. The government should terminate this contract. This contract should not affect in this country. Because if you go around Liberia today, people are saying Western government is taking jobs from the Liberian people. So this contract should be terminated. This should not allow this contract to be served. So for you to agree for these people to operate. And the second issue I have is downtown. We always draw on that issue.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure that has been worked on. In the soon. I mean, in the soonest possible time. That will be resolved as well. Okay, thank you. We'll leave you talk to this person you live. The name you called from where? Hello. What I'm doing great. Let's hear you. Sekou? Well, it seems like Sekou is having a troubling network. We'll leave you talk to this person. You live. The name you called from where?
Yeah, my name is Michelle calling from Nima.
Michelle, Nima. Which part of Nima you called from?
Sunny College.
Sunny College. You live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. I've been wishing to listen to this program because on our radio station here, we heard that there were people playing the Ghana street because the government was taking people from Ghana to come and do the registration here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how true is that, but if that was true, then it was very unfortunate. So, for any reason, the Liberian government will think of taking people from Ghana, which is sound too disgracing to me. The government can put things into place in another way that will have, because I believe the reason they were doing it was because people have been corrupt, fake documents, giving fake documents to people. So for that reason, maybe the government trying to bypass the system somehow. But even at that was still wrong. So I think the Liberian government were just done a monitoring system that by any means, necessary whosoever are going on our street to do the bingo registration, that those people to be monitored, edited completely before or after the vehicle registration. But instead of going Ghana and bringing people in abroad to do vehicle registration, to me, it was something disgracing. Another thing, the government too should consider the pay that these people are making, the ordinary men. For example, let me just reduce it to the other policemen, the people are talking about. This policeman is placed to the checkpoint, he's making 150 United States per month. Can this money able to cater to this family whereby he can pay children's school fees?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll leave you. So yeah, go on quickly now. So many calls are on. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes. So
no, you go 2 minutes. So just gotta wrap up, or else I'll take you off the line.
I'm wrapping up. The amount of representatives we have in this country, we need to reduce them because during the current regime, we have 9 counties not represented. But right now, for Montreal alone, we got 17 representatives. The government is paying these people a huge amount of money, a huge amount of population in this representative. So how were they able to pay the ordinary government employee? The representative of in this country, they are too many. The money, the law is heavy on the government. You have reduced, you have to have a referendum, reduce this representative. By this way, this country, the money we pay the people will help us to pay our fellow appearance that are making little or nothing. Please, we need a referendum. We need to reduce the representative in this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Indeed, your 2 minutes worth it anyway. Talk to this person. You live. The name you called from. Good evening. Let's hear you.
Thank you, and good evening to all of the panelists on the panel tonight. This is William Kobe, and I joined this conversation from the I wasn't trying to hear all of you for the dirty point, but I will begin with the traffic management issues for me. As council put us to this government, as come the days of work and other negotiation of concession. While it's true that it was the deal was signed from the previous regime, and I think this is where our government now needs to correct, because they want to rescue our country from the hands of those guys who were the ideas there, because they were about to dump this country, and it was the blessings of God that turned this country over to the rescue game. So I think every evil thing that they were about to do to the country, God there, I will bring you up to correct it. So that transport management issue is not correct. So while we don't come to the right, don't come to budget in million. Everybody come to budget in billion. Now to bring to our budget to go up to billion, and then government trying to make negotiations to join one of the revenue generating arms to our government to try to get enough money to the government, and why take the money? For me, I disagree with that, because even the one who do the concession, they can train the Ministry of Transport worker or the national police, and then that particular fee can be taken by the government to budget the government budget to put you up to billion. For me, that deal is so I think tomorrow we all will go to talk and the break so that can help our country, and our country will never.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Leave you talk to this person. You live. The name you called from where?
Hello, calling from Kansas City.
Ghana City, Nima County. Go on. You live. Your name?
My name is Abdullah Dawolo Koboyi. The guy has been to the program. For months, we have been advocating the feeding for the extension of the time. We've been crying because we are very imperative. We get us to learn. We have suggested and no thing in our local. Based on our this law in the country and around other countries. We are demanding at beginning next month. The government is going on program. Start on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We go from 8 to 12. We get all over the country. Always talking to you.
Also, you are demanding now.
The biggest issue that people call up on the country, other country, we are best. So we have to manage you.
I love that anyway. Thanks, Okani. Thanks, Okani. We'll leave you talk to this person you like. The name you called from where? Good evening. It's good to have you. The voice sounds like Princess. Go on. Let's hear you.
I want to say good evening to all the panelists on the show. Thank you people for bringing information to our group. One thing that makes me happy is JME and KKK. To see the two of them so trained. Yes, I am very happy to see my president, vice president, trained. It's the issue of the fasting prayer. We're not forcing anybody to fast and pray for Mama Liberia. Those that love Mama Liberia will go to the churches or will go to the period place and pray places to pray for Mama Liberia. Because you can say you are a pastor, you go on your pulpit to preach, and when somebody call for fast and prayer, then you get over the idea for what reason. I see no reason why you should get there because you are a pastor or because you can't people know the regime, so you shouldn't have people know somebody. But I can always tell them on the show that you will rise for the President Baka. Hear what they do. That's what will rise by the grace of God on the President Baka. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Princess. We'll leave you take 4 more calls, then we'll be done tonight. This person is one of the 4 callers we're going to talk to tonight. Let's hear you. The name you called from where? Hello? Well, it seems like you're not ready. We'll leave you talk to this one from this end. Oh my word. You slipped off as well. We'll have to leave you. This person is on. You live. The name you called from where?
Yeah. Good evening, Harry.
Good evening. It's good to have you. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm only calling from the room by the So, Harry, I'm feeling a little bit disappointed in you. But the way you are my book, but you keep the show too long. So they everybody will get me to talk. Because we everyone make their view. But some people will talk for 3, 4, 5 minutes. No, man, I don't like it.
Okay.
You know, I want to talk to them. Let's go to more. All the police, explaining that people will tell the police, carry. I want to tell me. But you know, so I have no confidence in you. Thank you.
Thank you. I take your observation very seriously. We'll leave you. Talk to this person. You live. The name you called from where?
Okay. Hello.
Hello. You live.
Thank you. I'm RSRC Jini. I joined from name Catholic
people.
Yes. So I'm happy to be following through the radio tonight. Last night I was almost live. Thinking that we've been having some issues here. Monitoring the live web group. I'm monitoring journally or reading Lama tonight.
Okay.
So for the first time, to believe that certain things should change in the country with your policy. Fair enough, course. The pastor, you're not going to pray because the president declared you don't know who you're ministering to or what you're preaching for. So whatever you want to do, you go ahead and do it. But when it comes to the traffic management thing, like most of the panelists said, the person who must establish is that the law. And we went through all of the requirements. It was a concession that was signed. The law is not signed, the president signed, the bill was printed. Whatever it is, if there are issues, let us further establish that this government is not doing something just arbitrarily, that there was a process that went on. We signed onto it as a country. If there are issues, we should go to that very concession, which talks about and the concession, they will go by it. But the way the very people who signed the concession, making it look like they are harassing the man, in session and all that, they face the signature of the president. Then now we see a letter.
Okay.
If you represent him, it's embarrassing.
Thank you.
As a country, if we should move ahead, let's call it very concession and see how we can make it. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. We'll take 2 more calls and be done. This person is on. Let's hear you. The name you called from where? Hello?
Hello.
You live. Let's hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Esquilon Baku, calling from Ganta City.
Go on from Ganta.
Yeah. You know, we don't have system that we are suffering us. What you were saying, Studio, is very, very good and according to the strategy that will change the country. If you go there in Africa Coast, Abidjan, once you get in a vehicle, like taxi, the first thing to fasten your seatbelt. If you don't fasten your seatbelt, when police then come across you, you pay a fine. If you get on motorbike, the rider will tell you, say, wear a helmet. You can't ride up without a helmet. So that system is good. That we pray that you should come and we should forget about demonstration. We go have no right now, we can bring some more way.
Thank you.
You say no. You should pass here, people start demonstrating. The government will handle them and post on the wire of going for the
Thank you. We'll leave you talk to our very last caller tonight. You live. The name you called from where? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Let's hear you.
From Kagata.
What are you live?
I'd like to extend my thanks and appreciation to the Class Reloaded family and also to our president and vice president for their far-sightedness. You know, one of the things that I'm really happy about this reserve, where we have reserve petroleum reserve rice, so that the business people will not trade for again, where when times they can hacking the price and tell that the group finished. Then we go in corner and we buy it, we have price from them. So I tell God, thank you for this mature government. And the government should do it. We cry on the president, the civil servant, to look into that direction for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you indeed. Your last caller for tonight. We don't know the course segment.
Okay, so there is one person from the US who also wants to make his own input on this issue. I don't know how I did my whole stuff. I can see my comment. Okay, I can see it. So Roland Perry is a Liberian journalist who resides in the US, and he wants to give his own take. I don't know, Roland, which one of the topics you want to talk on? Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Ali, and good evening to the panelists. I just want to speak on this traffic management topic.
Go ahead.
I saw you commented on my post when I posted that 5 of my family members were killed in a tragic motor accident on the Morocco Bambangira house in Kidmouth.
Yeah.
Now, I think what is taking place in Liberia is a start of a new beginning. And I'm calling on the president and the police director to not temper with that traffic management contract. They should enforce the contract to the letter.
Roland, have you read the contract?
I'm going through it right now. I'm just so angry that I see people drivers who will overload their cars and just run the street and go destroy people's life They don't want to be restricted. Those are the people that are against that contract. Those are the people. And I mean, like the lady on the show there, I like her edit points. I feel I gotta tell my daughter to really follow her. She's bringing out some brilliant points. But I just want to encourage all Liberians that for our country to change, we need to change. And the government.
So you think the traffic management contract is good for the country?
Absolutely. It may not be 100% good as we go along, we can fix it. But to the extent that Mohammed Ali, somebody, I was just testing a guy. I told him that I wanted a driver license from Liberia. He said, man, if you send me the money, I can fill that driver license for you and send it. Now I started thinking, I said, but how is that possible? If you don't have PR for driver license, you don't get it. So, Mo, you're fight. You're trying, but now, I listen to the police director when he met with the driver. He asked them, he said, okay, you said the police taking money for you, this and that, you tell me, but the reason for your protesting is because you put like 10 back arrest, 15 passengers in the taxi, and overloaded, and the law says that when you drive, you should be able to see the back of your car from your rear mirror. And they don't do that. There's no traffic sign. And the next thing I want to talk about as we progress towards that, government and the traffic management people need to put enough money aside to put communication signs on the road. Our road doesn't communicate with the traffic. It doesn't communicate with pedestrians. Like in the US, everywhere you're going, the mileage you're supposed to drive, if curb before you, if there are doubles, is a curb, is a bridge, everything you're going to see it. So we need to install communication devices on the road to be able to communicate with traffic. And that alone can reduce the number of traffic accidents that we get. But there is a good contract. We just need to go along with it and modify it as we go along. Liberia, we don't like system. The best thing is bringing system to the country. So let's continue with more. I don't want to keep you on the line too much.
Thank you, Roland. Thank you so kindly for your thoughts on the topic. Let me respond to one of the callers. He said we should stay on every night till 12. We are staying here over time. Sometimes we can stay on up to 12, depending on the necessity and the kind of discussions we are having. But normally when we plan the show, we set 10. And my brother, you have to forgive us a little bit. The reason we said that is that almost everybody that is on this show, they're working people. We are not saying people who are on other shows are not working people, but when we come from work, like normally we should be resting, preparing for the next day. We are here to give information, factual information about happenings in the government. And as you can see now, all the time we all agree, but we got to finish from this show and then rest and get ready for work the next day. I have to get up to go to work. I have to get up 5 o'clock every day to go to work because I want to be to work early. I want to work. The only time I have at my office to do serious work is from the morning hours to 12. After 12 midday now, it's just people coming in, going out, coming in, going out, whether they are on the schedule or not. And the thing about Liberia is that if people come 2-3 times, you don't see them, the next thing is, oh, he's selfish, you go to the office, you can see him, and and a whole lot of things. He's stealing the money, he now wants the valley, and all kinds of stuff. So we go to work early, do work, serious work, except if there are meetings. But you have to make way to see the people because I think it has become like a norm where people can just go to a professional environment. Somebody just reached to your office, they call you out to your office. So, yeah, Sam, I don't know if it happens to you.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you saying, your visitation starts at 12.
No, they come earlier, but what I do, I have trained myself to start seeing people after 12. If you come before 12, except if it is an official thing and you are on the schedule, we are not going to allow it because somebody just say, oh, like we have from Cape Mount. I just came from the village money or to the office here. Oh, I'm busy. I'm not even at the office. Hey man, I got capital to go back. Hey, you in trouble. So my brother, we will try. Sometimes we will go beyond, but if we don't, then forgive us. We are trying. It is for our own good. It is for the good of everybody. We came on so that we can counter some of the falsehood, the misinformation, the disinformation that people spew all over the place. So we will now go to take our closing comments. Let's start with Nangwe Sem Nangwe. You cool, man.
Nangwe Boke Nangwe. And why you are here?
Nangwe means in crew.
I know, sir. Look, I think probably I'm going almost a week now affiliating. Almost a week affiliating with the show. Sorry for that noise. Affiliating with the show, but I think it presents a unique opportunity for us to be able to counter some of the falsehood we see on social media. And I was one person that really pushed that we should be the one telling our own stories rather than allowing other people to tell our own tell our stories. We are, in fact, most of us on this show are the newsmakers, and who is better placed to be able to proclaim that news better than you, who the one that's making the news. The issues out today, the trending issues today, I think were very important. We've been able to hear different perspectives and views on, for example, the traffic management issue, the essence of the president's proclamation today for tomorrow's holiday, and those kinds of things. It's always a good thing that we keep informing our people, giving them the right information, and also providing news for them in terms of what the government is doing. I'm a strong believer in the rights of citizens to know what their government is doing, because then it don't have to be big things, but at least keeping them informed, it gives them hope. The small things that we do, whether it's providing water or putting our light bulb on, means a lot to a lot of people. So just thank you again for the opportunity of having me on. It's a grueling situation now. I understand why sometimes, but after this thing, every other thing you plan for your evening is gone. So it's a big sacrifice also for all of us to be able to do this, especially for someone like Cole, who her time difference, is there. Next week I will be on your side. Even though I will be able to participate like this, but thank you for the opportunity.
No, but when you're on our side, you have more time to participate.
Okay, because I will not be doing anything, Enzo.
You just coming to sit down.
Yeah.
Come on, Mo. That's what I can really enjoy about all of you. You're workaholics. I see the effort, the energy that President Boakai has brought to government, and inspiring all of you to do your best. And this is unmatched. And also the camaraderie that I see between government officials. Even during the previous UP administration, it was none of that, So the support that we have for each other under the second UP administration is amazing. And I think we learned from the past.
And you know why is that? Because most of us suffer together.
That's true.
The first term, we got to know each other, in there, but then they booted us out. They categorize us. We'll suffer together. We'll bend together in our suffering, strategize together, and then, we want together. So we got no choice, but to make sure that this thing works so that we don't We are not
Yeah.
subjected to this situation anymore.
Perfect. And I love it. So more, all I would say in closing before we get to you is that, you know, transportation safety is something that needs to be handled through multiple agencies concurrently. Even this traffic management situation, if the government is moving forward with it, so because the government is moving forward with it, we need public awareness. Some of the things that we raised with the Ministry of Public Works is proper signage on the roads for speed limits. And I'm sorry to the last caller. I'm very sorry for your loss, losing 5 family members in a horrific accident.
That accident was terrible.
Yeah, while this can happen anywhere, right? People die on highways in America, in Germany, all over the world. But a lot of the accidents in Liberia are preventable. Simple safety precautions that we don't take is why the casualties on our roads are so high. The last point I want to make is that road safety is not just about vehicle safety, it's about signage and speed, conscientizing drivers to follow the speed limit. When I was working at NTA, was the first time I understood that drivers that are going out of town drink cane juice before they get behind the wheel. And it's normal. It's normal. It's like a culture. And I said, this one of our drivers, Saliki, I hope you're listening because you're the one that brought it to my attention. I said, but why are the bus drivers stopping to get cane juice? And he said, oh, because your body can't hate you when you're driving out of town. When you drink the cane juice, now you can be strong to drive. And that is just, I was so shocked when I heard that thing. I said, but if you drink and you're impaired, you cannot operate a motor vehicle. So we had a quick pass of regulation that our drivers could not drink alcohol. And people who grew up in the West take that for granted. But in Liberia, it was normal to get drunk on cane juice if you're driving long distance. And that's not only the bus driver, the taxi drivers, probably some of your pen drivers and all, they can get charged before they put you on the bike. This is something that can be solved with public awareness and police being told, hey, make sure, do jingles on the radio, inform people that it's dangerous. The second thing is when you're driving, Liberia does not have freeways. Liberia has roads. What do I mean by that? All of our highways pass through towns where there are pedestrians walking on the side of the road, somebody cow, maybe not a cow, but somebody goat, somebody's child.
Cows. There's certain counties.
Maybe if you right in Ganta, that one are true. In Ganta and certain places, you will have cows and all on the road. So if you are speeding through a town at 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour even, it's dangerous. You're posing a threat to the citizens. So what we normally say is when you're going through areas that have pedestrians, meaning people walking on the roads, you should not be driving more than 45 kilometers, 30 miles an hour. In America, those highways that pass through towns, they have you reduce speed when you're coming into the town. Why? Because you could cause an accident if you don't reduce your speed. True. These are things we need to make sure we put into place in Liberia as well. And I tried to advocate for that, and then I did advocate for that. But I want to also say that to the current leaders in the Liberia National Police, Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Transport, and even the new traffic management team, you guys need to have a road safety convention, put people together, and then use resources to do prevention. Public awareness. What is the correct speed limit for those narrow roads that don't have shoulders? You will not run into a truck if you're not speeding. It's very difficult to do if you're not speeding. It's very difficult to drive on the highway if you're following the rules. So that's all I wanted to say. This is going to take a collective effort. Thanks so much, Mo.
Thank you, Cole. So I'll talk on two things.
Okay.
You talked about the drivers drinking cane juice.
Sorry, it's true.
No, it is true. And it's not only the driver, but when you go to most interior or rural areas, teachers drinking juice in the morning before going to class to teach the students. So 2007, 2008, I was working with an education program, the ALP, the Accelerated Learning Program. It was a USAID sponsor program, and it was implemented by an organization called Creative Associates International. Steven Johnson was in Bong and I was in Nimba. And so our community coordinator, the head of the program was community coordinator, is a guy called Robert Early. So there's this town behind Yekepa they call Lubei. And so every time we went to Lubei to interact with the teachers and the students, the principal and all the teachers, they sent from the King Jews in the morning. So one day Rawa couldn't stand there, and Rawa decided to blast at the principal. So the principal and the teachers were sitting there, and Rawa blasted. When he got through, the principal asked him, "My son, you through?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Let me tell you something." He said, "King Jew here is a tradition. We are drinking every morning before we do anything." So when you are talking about the driver, it clicked to me. Then the other thing about our dedication to work. There are several motivational factors, but one of which is the consistent threat from seditions. And I like it because it's a motivational factor for me. There's this guy, in an organization, we're in a chat room where he comes every morning, every evening. More Ali, the day we win power back, you almost run away from Liberia because it won't be easy. We'll lock you up. So when I am hearing that, I will not take my job for fun. I will work to ensure that you don't come back. And the only way to ensure that you don't come back is to succeed. And those threats, they are issuing them to every one of us. The other thing is, Sam Nambe said it. Whether you were in Liberia or you were out of Liberia, we all suffer it together. And we fought for it together. And so over the years, over that 6 years in opposition, we built friendship. Don't get me wrong, we have our differences. Koya, for example, so that we can go ahead. We argue, but we have a goal, and our goal is to succeed. So that we don't allow people who do not have good intention for the country to reclaim power in this country, because they will reverse everything that we've done. So when we think about those things, we come back and say, look, we have to perform. Joseph Boakai does not have to tell us what to do. Once you are appointed, you know your responsibility. Lastly, we also want glory. Today, unlike in the past UP government, when one minister or a head of agency succeed, you never heard many government officials, commending them, congratulating them, singing their praises. But if you notice today, when one official succeeds, majority of us congratulate the person who gave you your flower, and it is intended to make you to do more and to encourage others.
Yes.
Follow the footsteps and do better work. Today, if you look on the social media, almost every government official in the chat room, they are commending Amos Tuer and the LPRC team.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want commendation from your colleagues, from people who supported you? So these things are giving us, the impetus, the courage to work. Because we know, one, that there are threats. They will run behind you. They will find reason to jail you because they are angry that they lost power after 6 years. They could not maintain it because they did nothing. On this note, I want to say to my friend who called from Yekepa and said we should continue 12 o'clock every night, we'll start to do so, but at least tonight forgive us because we have to go rest. And I have a whole proposal to submit, to the Foreign Ministry on some, project issue. So on this note, I will say good night. Thanks to everyone for listening. And have a good night.
Good night.
Freedom of our race united.